Today we are here, and I invited Leena Baig here. She's a very remarkable woman. I met her in the when I met her, like I was convinced with her energy of positivity and the willingness to do something, the courage. I think we met before you started your business and everything, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Right. And at that time, you were planning. I know that you were in the transition phase and you were planning to do something to start your own
Yes.
business, though you were very clear about what you wanted to do, what your ideas are, and where you wanted to go. So for the audience, I would like to tell you that her main, the background from where like her education and everything was in medicine, and she took a
That's right.
U-turn towards the business,
Complete.
to complete
Yes.
U-turn, and this is the
Yes.
purpose of inviting her as well, because we wanted to share that, don't get scared of experimenting new things. Do not get scared of entering into the new fields, because we always, whenever someone or anyone who comes for us towards us for the advice, we always say that no, that's not your field, so you should continue wherever you are, because that will be easy. I do understand that that will be easy, but yes, do not be scared to do the experiments. And if you do, you can have this kind of the success which Leena is enjoying these days. So yes, she took a U-turn, and then she's a co-founder and director and of operations in SiberX, which I think you started in
That's right.
partnership, right? So,
Yes, that's
okay.
correct.
So I would like you to give some introduction so our audience know that, what your background is, and then we will talk about
Sure.
that, what challenges you face during your transition, during the new business setup, etc. So, Leena, here you go.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much, Tabassum, for having me here. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great day. Um, I wouldn't really say that I'm at all successful right now. I think this is just the first step. Um, the idea behind the entire business proposition was for me to be able to do something. When I completed my medicine and I moved to Canada, I was working in aesthetic dermatology. I was doing well in Pakistan. So it was a very big change for me to be here and to be able to get into a field where I would be able to give my family and my children also some time, which is the reason why I was working on trying to do something. But the thing is, it's not overnight. There are some times when you talk to somebody and you feel like, oh, they got this right immediately, but there is so much background information, there is so much knowledge that you have to learn. There's very little things that you have to do. It doesn't have to be full time. You don't have to give it like your entire 24 hours a day. Just little bit of doing something or the other. I was planning this business for the last maybe 3 to 4 years. I have two girls, mashallah. So with them, I wanted to do something that would give me time to be with them, along with being able to do something for my growth. And I think that is very important. I wanted my girls to see that it's okay. It doesn't matter if I am from medicine. I heard from a million people. I cannot tell you how many people said to me that I have wasted my degree and I have wasted my time. And there's so many negativities that I have received from people because I wasn't in my field. But I really believe that it doesn't matter. Education is never a waste. There is nothing that you are ever going to read in your life or learn in your life that is going to be a waste. It's always works somewhere or the other. The reason why I wanted to go into a business of my own was because I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to do things my way, and I wanted to do it in my own time. And that is what I'm doing right now. The last 3-4 years that I've been planning this proposal, it took a lot of time and effort to decide what I really wanted to do. The main thing was focus. The first thing I did for myself was make an objective. So I made that objective that I need to do trainings and consultations for cybersecurity. I thought one of the reasons was because everything is available online. There is everything, all of the courses. We are affiliated with SiberX itself, is affiliated with EC Council, which is a US-based company who has their own cybersecurity courses, their own exams that they offer. Everything is online. So what we do is we buy their courses, we offer it online, we give it to our students. We have the extra that we offer is we have a white glove treatment when we do our trainings. We have VIP catering, awesome locations. This is what we do, which is extra, which sets us apart, which is what I was working on basically. Anybody can go and do these courses online. But what we do is different for them. It's easier for them. They come in, they sit in a comfortable environment, and they have their course, and they can give that exam wherever they want. They get that certification. And
So
those are the certifications that were only offered in the US before. They were never offered in Canada. So we wanted to do something that is going to be exclusive for us to be offering in Canada.
So basically, you went for something which can distinguish you for like set you apart from other organizations or the other areas, right? And it
That's
is like
correct.
I would say that this is not the only thing you'd be saying that you are doing that, giving them the right environment. But I'm telling you, environment makes a huge difference, a huge
It
difference.
does.
Like your learning environment, because textbooks and the material could be the same, but how the delivery mode is, the environment you create for them
Exactly.
makes a huge difference because in one thing they will be struggling a lot to understand self-study and going back to the back and forth to the things, but creating the right environment, giving them the right means and the tools to understand and be successful in the first, first go, that is something which should we should appreciate that you're doing. So along with that, I would
Exactly.
say that, I would like to know that, during that your transition, because that's the whole purpose is to, to give people an insight that how do you feel and what the phases you go through when you're in a transition period from one area to another, one field to another. So how did you feel and what challenges exactly you faced?
Okay, so it was a transition. It was something that was in my head, and just taking it out of my head and putting it down on paper was the first big step. So making the business proposal for EC Council was the first major step that we took. For me, it was difficult because I had a lot of things to manage. With at home, I needed something that I could divide my time. So time management was important. One thing that I really learned from the entire experience was sometimes we are scared to ask for help, and it is surprising, and I was surprised myself because I thought, no, I can do this alone by myself and I will do everything. And that was something that took me out of my comfort zone, to be able to ask other people that I need to go for a meeting, can you take care of my kids? And you will be surprised at how many people are willing to help. And this does not have to be family, this does not have to be friends, they could be your neighbors, they could be your friends, they could be your far away relatives, they could be anybody that you're comfortable leaving your children with, or somebody who can come over and take care of. Because my first priority for the last 6 years was my kids. So for me, that was getting out of my comfort zone, leaving my kids with somebody else. That was a big challenge for me. And I think that was what was important. That was what was, I felt like that was pulling me back and thinking, no, no, I have to take care of my kids first and then everything else. But I think stepping out of that helped me overcome all of those fears and those challenges that I had at that time. So managing my time in a way where I can work without neglecting anything was something that I had worked on. And I think it is surprising, especially, I don't know if it's everywhere, but in Canada, if you ask somebody for help, they are more than willing to help. And I learned it the hard way because it was difficult to do everything by myself. You cannot. There's a phrase, it takes a village to raise a child, and it does. And it's okay to build that village around you, have those people around you who are happy to help you, who are happy, and they don't want anything in return. it's just it's just goodwill. And I can do a favor for them too. It's always give and take, and it always works. Allah has a way of working things out. Once you put your step forward, get out of your comfort zone and feel like you can do this, things have a way of working themselves out, and they will. So that was one of my major challenges, to be able to manage that time accordingly. And then, of course, with the 6 year gap, there were people, like I said, a lot of negativities around me. I had to overcome all of those, forget about what anybody is saying to me, and figure out that I really wanted to do this and go ahead with it. Because
That's
changing
very
my field was also one of the major challenges that I had, to go
So did
completely
you
from a
felt
very
any
medicine.
challenges? So because being a mom, and this is what I always suggest to the women, like and I'm also mom of two kids, right? And this is why I wanted to, in the very beginning when I got the job offers and everything, I joined, but I left within 2 weeks from the place because I thought that I'm neglecting my kids, and this is something which I should not be doing, right? So
Right.
I feel that this is something we need. We all need work-life balance. We all need the attention towards the kids, and this is the piece we doesn't and we never want to neglect, right? So
Exactly.
other than that, do you feel that there was something lacking, the business sense, the technical knowledge, what you needed to groom in your personality, in your knowledge, in your skill set to make sure that you will not, you will be able to succeed? So what are your personal developments you feel that those areas where you needed to work hard on?
I think networking was one of the most important that I feel, because I felt like I was cut off from the world.
Okay.
Even though I was on all the social medias, I was also on LinkedIn. I was in touch with a lot of my company, a lot of my friends, but most of them, all of them were in medicine. So for me to be able to start getting in touch with people who are in this field, what I started doing was, the first grooming was wardrobe. That was something that was very important. I thought when I got out and I started meeting people, I started realizing that there is something that I need to change about my wardrobe, my look, so that people start taking me seriously, so that they know that I'm
Professional.
serious about the
Basically, we
work.
want that, and this is very,
Yes.
thank you so much for saying that. It is very important the way you present yourself, because
Yes.
yes, you are a professional. When you go out, just forget about that you are a woman.
Exactly.
That's everything is secondary, but the primary thing is that you are a professional. And if you want people to take you serious, put on, like, not just your clothing, not just your dressing, your attitude, your work
Exactly.
ethics, everything.
Exactly.
Like, be a professional, act like, behave like professionalism, right? So you are taking any commitment. There is no, like, if you want other people to take yourself serious, then be serious about the things. You have
Exactly.
some obligations to fulfill, right? Be on time, whatever commitments you are making, keep your words, keep your promises. If you're taking some tasks, fulfill them. Like, go out of the way
Exactly.
to make sure that even those could be short term things, or those could be like a small task, but it's professionalism is
Yes.
required everywhere, and you will see
Exactly.
a huge difference
Yes.
once you.
So for me, with along with the wardrobe, I think what was important was, because I was changing my field completely, like you said, like a U-turn. It was a
Yeah.
360 degree turn for me. So what I started doing was, I started picking up online courses to study about cybersecurity, because you cannot have a business that you don't understand yourself, no matter how many people are working with you or
Mhm.
for you or
Okay.
alongside you, because it is a team that I have.
Leena, I have a
Yeah.
question for you right
Hmm.
here. I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, but could you
No.
please share? So these were paid courses, or these were like free sites where they can
These
go
were
and read?
free online courses.
Okay,
There is
so
a site called Coursera, and I am in
Coursera.
love with that
Could you
site.
please spell it for the audience?
Sure, it's COURSERA. Coursera.
Course. Okay. Okay.
Now this is something. There are a lot of
Coursera.com.ca.
sites. Sorry,
Coursera.com.ca.
it's an app.
It's an app. Okay.
It's an app. Yes.
Okay.
So there
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of apps like that, but because my this Coursera has a lot of courses. Some of them are completely free. So I picked and chose courses that were completely free. So I don't have to put anything in it. That I don't want to put
Mm-hmm.
money in something that I don't know I'm going to do or not. So this is during the time that I'm telling you that I was thinking about, just it was in my head. So just to learn more about the business, just to learn more about cybersecurity, I started reading through it and I started understanding and enjoying it. Because until and unless you enjoy something that you're going to be the boss of, you cannot work at it. So I
That's
started
very
reading a
true.
lot. I read a lot. I read all the courses. I read as much as I could, as much as I could understand. I started meeting the people who are in those fields, and I started going to trainings myself. So
These are
some
the
of
very
those.
right steps, because this is what I
Mhm.
wanted to highlight, and I was planning to ask you that which right steps you took, which may help you and make you successful. So what I'm
Exactly.
saying, and what I always emphasize on people, that do not just feel, and when you see someone, do not create a persona that they were there overnight. That's not possible.
Exactly.
There's a huge hard work, huge
Exactly.
effort we make, on the background, which you don't see. But what you see on
Exactly.
the surface, this is a result of that hard work. The first thing is grooming yourself, educating yourself. This is the
Exactly.
number one thing. Because even if you go to the networking events, but you do not have the right terminologies in your, you do not have the right terminologies, the words to speak
Exactly.
about those things, you are not aware of the areas, what will happen? Okay, before I move on, I want to say hi to everyone who is joining, because many people are waving and giving the comments. I will get back to you, but and we will have the question and answer session as well. But I
Sure.
just wanted to appreciate that you are watching. Thank you very much. So yes, so it is very important that educate yourself. Then you can, you should be able to speak about the right things. Just going to the
Exactly.
networking events and saying that I'm networking, but you are exchanging only the names, phone numbers,
Exactly.
the emails, and that's it. And they will never get back to you, and you will never get back to you what the value you are adding. Leave some mark, like leave some impression. So if you have some knowledge already, and you are having an educated discussion with people, they will remember you, and you will be able to
Exactly.
take networking as your next step. Groom yourself. Next step, you need to learn from people that how they are performing, how they are achieving those things, right? So this is a very, very good point. Yes. So
Then there were a lot of trainings that I not just training, they were workshops. Some of them were free, some of them were just a minimal fee, but for that I met a lot of people. So I realized that there is a lot of potential of what I'm thinking of doing. And then of course the third step for me was meeting the right people to build
yes.
the team. I think that was very important meeting, because for 3-4 years I'm just sitting and wondering that, okay, I'm studying, I'm reading about all of this, I'm going to trainings, I'm going to workshops, but I don't have one single person cannot start a business. You cannot do something without dividing what you have to do, because
Ask
these
me,
are
Leena, it is
tasks.
so tough. I started on my own. Please don't say you cannot do it. I
No,
was my
of course you
accountant,
can do
I
it.
was my marketing person, I was my brand manager, I was my trainer,
Right.
I was my director. Like, it is a hell lot of a job. Like, but I
Right.
started my business for $500. I was not able to afford
Right.
anything.
Right.
But
See, that's
I'll,
that's
I'll
that's
give
what it
that
is.
perspective as well.
That that's what it is. See, for me,
So
if I
tough.
had started off, because with me not knowing not knowing technical knowledge, if you would say, like technically, because I wasn't going to be teaching anybody. I wasn't at that level where I'm
Of
going to
course,
stand and I'm
of
going to
course.
teach. So of course, when I redo a training, I hire people. So
Yes,
for me to be able to hire somebody, I need at least that much knowledge to understand that this person knows something,
yes.
to differentiate one instructor from the other.
So I took me now I have a question for you now. I started my business on my own. I was my own instructor in my own institute. Now tell me, what did you so right that you had like all the budget and everything in the beginning? Like, what was your initial investment? You do not need to